Morgan.
And I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland Navigation Radio,
where we give you our best tips and tricks from lots of personal experience on how to do dirt cheap Disney on a dime.
Yeah.
That's right. We talk a lot about how to maximize guests' use of things like Disney Genie Plus. We talk about tips and tricks for table service dining, but today we're going to harken back to our roots, and we are going to talk about how to do Disney on a budget.
We have a lot of experience from a few years ago, from when we used to just have our annual pass and not be able to afford much more.
Right. That was our cap for Disney fun.
Yeah.
Was we get to go to Disney. You get to ride the rides.
I could justify the annual pass cost as my entertainment, especially a few years ago.
Right.
It's taken a price hike.
Yeah, things are different now.
Yeah.
And also, back in the day, that came with fast passes, and it was just a different time.
Yes.
Yeah, things are a little different now, but there's still lots of ways to accomplish a Disney World vacation. Still have lots of fun, still make some magical memories,
be on a budget.
but not totally blow the bank.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's interesting planning-wise when you talk about budget, because the planning can be a little bit more involved if you're really looking for some extra ways to save. And it really starts before you even think about what day you're booking your trip now.
Yeah.
Because for those of you who don't know, when you book Walt Disney World tickets, there are days where a ticket to a given park, Magic Kingdom, for example, will be more expensive on a peak attendance day than another day.
And certainly the hotels as well.
Yeah, and of course the hotels are prorated,
right,
or whatever the situation is there, where it's different per
night.
So it's really important to either work with a travel agent, because, potentially they can be some free help to you, or to just do what we do and be super on top of finding the best deal.
Right.
Yeah. The best way to do that is to go onto the Disney website and to check the ticket cost calendar when you're buying theme park tickets, and to go to the resort side of the website and just play around with the filters, right?
Right. Another thing, if it is possible for you, if you can come not during a school holiday, you will save a ton of money right off the bat. While that's not possible for everyone, like my mom is a school teacher, that's never possible for her.
Right.
But if you can even hook it to a 3-day vacation that you get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that way, if you're pulling the kids from school maybe 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
But then that makes it that can help.
You gotta strategize.
That would be better than coming in the middle of summer, which I would not recommend.
Yeah, doing Disney, right. That's
for so many reasons.
Right.
Not just your budget.
Mainly for comfort, though.
Yes.
And in terms of Disney on a dime, there is a way to kind of do Disney on a dime, even if you're kind of doing an impromptu trip. But what we are going to be leaning toward is a little bit more putting in some planning work to make sure that you can maximize your value for your trip.
Yeah.
So that boils down to things like we've talked about, making sure you're buying theme park tickets when they are, most accessible to you. Your hotel, if you're getting a hotel, whether you're staying inside of the Disney bubble or maybe finding a good value hotel outside of the Disney bubble.
May I speak on that for a second?
I would love to. We've never talked about this on the podcast, and it is a huge topic of conversation amongst the community. So I feel like Morgan is kind of our resident reservation guru, whether that is hotels, dining. She's kind of got the information, so I can't wait to hear what your word on this is.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, if you're picking something outside of the Disney bubble, the biggest favor you can do yourself is to read so many reviews. Really spend the time to go through reviews if you're staying outside of a Disney hotel. If you're staying at a Disney hotel, you're pretty safe. We did reviews on a bunch of Disney hotels that you can find on our YouTube channel, and there is only one that I would just straight up not recommend, and that is only for right now. At some point they will do a refurbishment to that hotel, and then it will be something that we recommend. But for right now, I would recommend not staying at All Star Sports. All Star Music and Movies, however, are fantastic value. And so I just happened to be looking at hotels in the area today for my BFF Jake's wedding, which is coming up.
I'm getting married soon, you guys.
Yeah, so I was looking at hotels in that area because part of the celebrations that we're doing will be in the Disney bubble.
Yes. Of course.
Of course.
You think I'm getting married and we're doing nothing Disney related?
Exactly.
Can't happen. Can't happen.
So I was pricing out some of the hotels that were in the area, like close enough to be close. You know what I mean?
And for context, Morgan is looking for a hotel room 1 month from now.
Yeah,
basically.
1 month from now and for 2 nights.
Right.
But one of them is a weekend night. So I'm looking at hotels in the area. I don't want to go more than like 20 minutes away, and I'm looking at reviews. The craziest thing, and I'm sure that this is unexpected for most people, I had kind of limited it down to a Marriott that was like a Spring Hill Suites or something like that was like $200 a night. And then I found that an All-Star Movies is $174 a night. So you just kind of never know when you're actually going to find a better deal within the bubble. And if you find a better deal in the bubble, that's the way to go.
Yeah, and I think this is also a great tip, is that,
don't rule it out.
Don't
That's
rule
all
it
I'm
out,
saying.
especially the values, especially the All-Stars. Sometimes they show up, not only are they very affordable, but they are very convenient for their location within Walt Disney World.
Right.
And if the experience of being within the Disney bubble, so that you can have a fully immersive vacation without worry of traveling in and out, is important to you, then it is certainly worth a second look or a couple visits back to the website. Keep checking in to see what becomes available, because it does change all the time.
I know, like, I have a friend that was asking me about a hotel in the Disney area recently. She was asking me about this, and she wasn't even considering actual Disney hotels because she just assumed they were going to be too expensive.
Right.
That's not always true, is all I'm saying. The 174 Movies room that I found was also a preferred room, which I don't need because I would be driving.
Right.
If you're coming from out of state, you might want a preferred room because that's closer to like the buses.
Right.
But if I had more than a month's notice, I might have been able to get a standard room that was even less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a weekday's less than a weekend and all of that.
Of course. And it's also something to keep in mind is that there are lots of discounts that might apply. I say lots of, I actually don't mean. There are some discounts that can apply.
You don't just have to be a pass holder.
Search, yeah. There's Florida resident discounts and specials that they do on resorts. Make sure that you're signed up with their email. I mean, it sounds like we work for them, but it's true. It's just the best way for you to know what's happening when there's a new kind of release as far as specials go, because you'll never know what you can find for, a weekend for a discounted cost or something. Florida resident is a thing. And of course, pass holder discounts are a thing.
Well, and for those of you that aren't either of those, they recently have been doing a lot of Disney Plus subscriber discounts.
Please,
you
do
can
not
be anywhere.
miss out on saving money just for having Disney Plus.
Right, and Disney Plus isn't that expensive. So,
no, it's like $6. I think.
So if you're gonna go, it might be worth getting it for that.
It's a no-brainer.
And that's why they're doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
They want to bolster those numbers for obvious reasons.
Yes.
And so, maybe take advantage of that. You've got to kind of be a little bit aware of what's going on in terms of the promotional landscape to make sure you're getting the best deal.
Yeah, and those value resorts can be very nice comparatively speaking. If you read reviews for a lot of the value, like I'm talking like $100 ballpark hotels in the area, when you start reading the reviews, you might realize this still isn't worth it. You know what I mean? I'd rather spend the extra $50 a night to stay inside Disney and not have all of these issues.
Right. Yeah.
I've heard some real horror stories. You've had some horror stories, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean the area surrounding Walt Disney World in terms of hotel accommodations is a little hit or miss. What people rely on Disney for is consistent quality.
Uh-huh.
So if you're looking for consistent quality in your hotel room stay, and you're looking for a company that will accommodate you if things are not to your liking for the most part, then that is a Disney thing.
Uh-huh.
You know, you've got to keep in mind that when you're talking about Walt Disney World versus the La Quinta, one has a reputation for supreme service. So, you know, it's all about what you can afford.
Yeah.
It's all about what you have access to. But I'm just saying, don't rule out the values. There might be something there for you worthwhile.
It's worth looking.
I've stayed in them much cheaper than I would have thought. Even the moderates sometimes can get down to be can be more cost effective than visiting a lot of the offsite hotels.
Sometimes the moderates will go lower than the values for whatever weird reason.
Don't look at the website one time and count it out.
Yeah.
You've got to continue to be vigilant with the checking of the website.
The best luck that I have had in a non-Disney hotel near Disney has been the couple that are owned by Marriott that are usually in the $150 to $200 per night range at the area called Flamingo Crossing.
Yeah.
And that's just on a bang for your buck situation, because those are rated like almost 5 stars.
Right.
So
higher level of accommodation.
Yeah, where if you start looking a little further or at other brands, you start seeing horror stories.
Yes. They
when
are
we stayed at those,
abundant.
I think the last time we stayed at one of those, it was less than $150 a night, and they had like Star Wars stuff in the elevators and Star Wars stuff. So they're like, they know why
they're
you're
in
here.
on it. Yeah. They know what's up. They've got the proximity to prove it. Another thing to keep in mind if you're planning a trip, this is something that I heard and really stuck with me because I'd never considered it, is that if you are someone who is going to be staying for multiple days or taking multiple trips a year, look and see if buying an annual pass would be cheaper than doing what you're doing.
Right.
Because you not only have to factor in the cost of multiple park tickets depending on whether or not they are peak days and the prices that are associated with those peak days. Not only that, you also have to keep in mind that you get an annual pass holder discount.
Sure.
That applies to all of your table service meals.
Almost all of your
all of your table service meals.
Your
There are
merch.
some that are not owned by Disney, so it gets a little tricky. If you're not, and I know what you're thinking, this is Disney on a dime, I'm not eating table service meals. Don't you worry. Any souvenirs that you may be tempted to grab, even cheap ones, will also
and
be
your hotel
discounted.
Yeah.
And your hotel stay would be discounted by the annual pass. So if you're looking to maximize value and you're looking at, well, I might do a couple of trips or whatever it might be, and you're just really trying to get your bang for your buck, do the math on the annual pass.
Yes, yeah, that's true. It's not available right now, but it should be soon, huh?
They've had fluctuating tiers available, and depending on when you're listening to this episode, I don't want to speak on what's available.
Happening right now. That's a really good point.
But I will say, go to the Disney website and see what they have available, because maybe you can get a pirate or a sorcerer, or, whatever they've got. That's kind of been the deal, hasn't it? Whatever we've got, that's what you can have.
Right.
Yeah. Another thing that people do to get their money together for, the old Paradise Falls jar of change is you can, at some places, you can buy discounted gift cards. If you buy 2 gift cards, get one $10 off, or whatever some of these places do.
Yeah. Sam's Club.
Sam's
places like that. Buying them at Target with your Target Red card, which gives you 5% off, is essentially giving you 5% off your entire vacation.
Right. So if you want to use the gift card method to kind of accumulate your trip's worth of money, then you could save a couple dollars, potentially many dollars, multiplication wise, doing that.
Yeah, that's huge.
Just if you've never heard that before, that's kind of the intro to the idea.
Yeah. So let's see. We talked about hotels.
We've talked about it all, but
no, not any of the in-park stuff yet.
Oh no, we haven't even gotten in the park yet, and guess what? We still can't, because there's one more thing that I have made the mistake of doing.
Okay.
That I don't want anyone else to do.
Okay.
And that is booking a park tickets, park reservation for a park that closes early and you didn't realize. This has happened to me. Now, I don't buy park tickets, but I make plans and I go into the parks. There's nothing worse than realizing that Magic Kingdom closes randomly at 6 o'clock today.
Yeah, and it does.
And every time I'm in that situation, I think to myself, gosh, I can't imagine the people that paid for a theme park ticket to leave the park 4 hours earlier than they might tonight.
Yeah.
Yep. Check when your park is opening and closing.
A Disney trip really involves a lot of planning. It should. If you're not, then you're not going to have a good time. I read something recently on Facebook about somebody was ranting about the terrible time they had, and it's because they were just trying to wing it. This is not that kind of vacation.
Unfortunately, for some who are more of the free-spirited, go-with-the-flow type of variety, Walt Disney World has built itself as an economy that revolves around planning, packages, discounts, bonuses, deals.
There's just no way you're going to have a good time if you try to wing it.
And especially since COVID and the reservation thing happened, it really is a different
Unless you're a local and a pass holder and you go all the time. Like, we can just
and you don't care how it goes.
But we don't care. Yeah, we don't care if we don't get to go on any rides.
Ride breaks down? Fine.
We'll come back next week.
We understand that it's not like that for you, though. It wasn't like that for us.
Right.
You know, we were very disappointed when things, weren't the way that they should be, but that happened to us much rarely than other people, I would say, because planning.
Right.
Planning.
Yes. The annual pass, another thing when you're doing your math to figure out if it would make more sense to have an annual pass than to just pay for tickets a few weeks out of the year, if that's something you're able to do, is parking.
Oh, parking.
Yes.
Huge potential expense.
And if you're staying at a Disney hotel, and I'm not pushing this, I'm just saying don't count it out. You don't pay for parking anymore.
Thank goodness.
I know. It was a thing for a few years where they implemented that we had to pay for parking when we stayed at a hotel, and I for one was livid.
Yep.
Because they're not like running out of parking. It's not like, you know what I mean?
Someone had to build that parking spot, Morgan.
Yeah.
It just was ridiculous to say, yes, you may stay at this resort, but if your car wants to, then I'm going to need $20 more.
A day.
What?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like a nightly fee. And I get it, and a lot of hotels are doing this, and it bothers me on all of them, but it especially bothered me at Disney.
Yeah.
Because if I'm staying in New York City, I get that you've got a real estate issue there. You know what I mean? Everything's crammed. You probably don't have a lot of parking spots. Disney does not have that problem.
So much for the blessing of size.
Blessing of size, right? Yeah. What was it? Is that what exactly? Or blessing of?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, maybe. Something along those lines that they said that they had. And when you go into like the All-Star...
In the 70s is what we're talking about.
When you go into like the All-Star parking lot, there's so much space.
Yeah, it's huge. It's massive. There's no... Especially at the values where there's parking like mad. It just doesn't seem fair. I'm glad they've done away with it.
They've done away with it.
But it's important for you to figure parking in.
Yes.
Parking costs money at the theme parks.
Right.
So,
and if you're staying, like, let's say you decided to stay at All-Star Movies.
Yes.
You just leave your car there for free, and then you take the bus to the theme parks, and it's free. Free. So...
And do that.
Yes. If you're staying at a hotel, a Marriott, or whatever, they're going to charge you to park per night.
Check if there's a shuttle.
See if there's a shuttle.
Some places have shuttles. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah.
I would not advise you to stay off property and drive to the theme parks.
And pay, because it's so expensive.
It just doesn't make, even if you're not on a dime, it doesn't make sense to throw your money away.
Exactly. I still wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
I'm not wasting $20 for no reason.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking, but no.
If you're coming in for the day, you could hypothetically park at Disney Springs, which is free parking, and take a bus to like Magic Kingdom.
Yes, I've seen this hack.
That's a time-consuming hack.
Yes, you have to
throw that out there.
Yeah, you know how you budget for your budget? You also have to budget your time.
Right.
A huge part of this is you have to be there heckin' early.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, if you're somebody who is doing this on a budget, then you should be doing park park open to rope drop to fireworks,
Yes.
as they say.
Yes.
You've got to rope drop to firework to get bang for your buck in these places. So you've got to realize that if you're planning on using that Disney Springs hop, you're talking about an early morning.
Yeah. Yes. Or whenever you did if you decided not to rope drop, we get that too. You should, if you're really, really stretching the penny, you know what I mean? Because you want every minute.
It's worth it.
You should be taking that ticket cost and dividing it by your amount of hours, and that's how much you're paying to be there, and that way you don't want to waste any time. But like, you have to think about the time it takes to walk from parking at Disney Springs to the bus, and then you potentially will be waiting up to an hour.
Yeah, the bus
It says 20 minutes. It's only supposed to be 20 minutes.
Right. The bus system is extremely convenient in terms of the fact that it is a free and somewhat reliable way to get around the parks.
And nice for buses. You know what I mean? I never feel like they're run down or dirty.
No, they are nice for buses. But you do have to budget a little more time because buses are buses and delays happen.
Yes.
They're driving on the road just like everyone else.
Right. Like if I was trying to rope drop at, let's say, 8 o'clock and I'm staying at a Disney hotel.
Well, first of all, you would be miserable.
I would.
Because 8 o'clock is like we're not even thinking about being awake. You
know?
Yeah,
it's certainly not like ready and outside, and you would have to you would need to be getting to the bus station at your hotel at like 7.
I'd have to have a disguise on. I'd have to be wearing sunglasses and a hat, and like no one could even know it was me.
Yeah, we're not morning people.
No.
But we are going to talk to you about being a morning person if you're doing this on a program.
Well, hey, for those times where I was on a Disney trip when I was not a local, I became a morning person.
You just have to.
Because, well, you have to, and also, it is, when you're doing something really special, it does kind of cure the morning blues.
It does. I've seen a shirt like that. Like, the only time I wake up this early is for Disney or something.
Yeah, like I'm only a morning person at Disney World.
Yeah, something like that.
That is me.
Yes.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's something to take into consideration. Also, a lot of the hotels in the area charge like hotel fees and stuff like that. Just make sure you're adding everything up. Because if Holiday Inn says that you can stay there for $100, they haven't added all the stuff in yet.
You're talking at least 130, maybe more.
Yeah, probably more.
Probably more. Yeah, depends on where you are, but there's always some kind of hidden fee. Yeah. That's just how they roll in that industry.
I hate it. I hate that.
I really do wish they would just have a one built-in price, but I understand.
It feels like trickery.
I wonder if the law will come down on that at some point.
They've been talking about it.
I would like it because it is just taking advantage of people who aren't like
it is
really planning to the minutia like us. People who are just kind of saying, "Oh, I could get a hotel for $150 easy," and then when they've got a $300 hotel, they're thinking to themselves, "Well, now I have less money to do anything else."
Some of these hotels don't even tell you until you're checking out.
I've been the victim of that at a couple.
That's robbery. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You've got me at what, gunpoint? What am I going to do now?
What can I do?
Pay it?
There's nothing
You're going to sue me or something. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm good. Are we ready to go into the park?
I think so.
Oh, it's exciting, you guys. You've got your park. Oh, don't ruin your Disney vacation by not having a park reservation. There's a good money-saving hack.
Yeah.
Don't ruin your entire family's vacation because you didn't realize that there is still a park reservation system.
Although they're much easier to get now, don't you think?
They are much easier to get now, but do check because if you're...
Well, we don't go on holidays, so that might be not...
On holiday?
Holiday. No, holidays.
Oh, hollandaise.
No!
Delicious.
Oh my god. Like on Christmas.
I'm hungry, you guys. Speaking of hungry... something you're gonna do once you're inside the theme park is eat.
Yeah.
You gotta eat.
Uh-huh.
And I know what you're thinking to yourself. You're thinking theme park food. Sub-quality, overpriced.
I hope you're not listening to our podcast and thinking that at this point.
Oh yeah, good point. Well, maybe this is their first episode. Maybe this is their first episode.
All right.
Welcome. I hope
now that you're becoming one of our people.
Yeah,
you know Disney food is good food.
It can
as long as you do it right.
Most of it, some of it. You've got to be discriminate. You've got to look at what the options are and pick the good ones. You can have bad food experiences. We've had plenty.
Oh yeah.
We've had meals at Walt Disney World where we've said to ourselves, "What a waste!
I want my money back.
I want my money back. Life's a lemon, and I want my money back." But there's sometimes we've left and thought I would do that all again right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so
Well,
full,
no,
maybe not
but-
right now. But I would do it all again.
Yeah.
So we've got some tips on that. One that I guess people still don't know is about bringing food in, right?
Yeah. It's funny because not all theme parks do this.
Yes.
Like if you go to Busch Gardens, you can't bring food in there, right?
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can either.
I think you can bring drinks. I think you can bring water because I brought water in there.
I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to bring food though.
But food, I don't know that they'd let you in.
Yeah.
I know there, even if it's not specifically Busch Gardens, I've been to
Okay,
theme parks
yeah.
where there is no food
I
allowed.
was just thinking maybe it's not Busch Gardens, maybe it's somewhere else, but it doesn't matter. Disney does allow it.
Yes.
They just won't allow a cooler.
Yeah, so big old cooler, no. But
you don't want to carry that around anyway.
yeah, but bringing food in, that might be a good thing to do. I know when I was kind of doing Disney for the least possible, we would go to the grocery store the night before and we would get some sandwich making supplies and we would bring the cooler into the car
Right.
with us, and then we would make the sandwiches before we go into the park and then quickly thereafter eat them.
So going to the grocery store is a really good tip.
Yeah.
Because even if what you get is bottles of water,
Gatorade.
yeah, maybe sodas, granola bars.
Yep.
If you've got kids, maybe some goldfish or other snack kind of
Popcorn
things.
for the room.
Things that you can take.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that will really help out your budget because things like a bottle of water, stupid expensive.
Yes. Oh, another tip, speaking of water, is that counter service locations have free cups of water.
Yes.
So do not pay for water.
Another thing that not all theme parks do that I'm really proud of Disney for continuing to do.
Do not pay for water.
Yeah.
If you're looking
You
to
don't
save
need a
money.
bottle. Go get a cup of water. It's filtered water. And you can get one whenever you want. You can't take it on rides like you could a bottle.
Right.
But as soon as you get off the ride, you can go get another one.
Yes, and they're pretty small, so you won't really have that concern anyway. Because by the time you're at the ride, you're ready to throw the cup away.
But when you go up there, you can ask for two. Like if
Yes.
you think you're, oh my God, I'm so thirsty.
Another good thing that Disney has done is in their newer stuff, they've put a lot of those bottle refilling stations. So if you are one of those steel water bottle people that carries a water bottle
I
everywhere
just saw one
with
of
them,
those. They're just starting to come.
they're popping up now.
Yeah.
They're popping up now. So they've got some of those in each park. So
It doesn't have to be a steel one. They've got the
Yeah.
collapsible ones.
It could be
That's
anything.
really smart for a trip.
yeah. Oh, you're talking about the ones that are like fabric?
They kind
Or
of
like-
collapse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fabric-ish.
Yeah. They're some type of material.
Maybe not fabric, but yeah.
Something. Yeah. There are lots of smart options for reusable, things for. They've also got Disney even sells reusable. It's like a reusable food pouch that you can put snacks into, and a straw, fork, and spoon set.
Yeah.
And guess what? You can get it for a lot cheaper on Amazon
Or Dollar Tree.
or at Dollar Tree or
Yeah.
something. So you can bring everything you need with you.
Another thing, you mentioned water at Quick Serves. They will also do hot water, so you can bring some tea bags with you if you're a tea drinker.
Yeah.
Or hot chocolate packets if you think you're doing a Christmas thing and you want your kids to have hot chocolate, but you don't want to spend $20 on 3 hot chocolates. Yeah, you could hack that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's being resourceful.
You mentioned that you made sandwiches in your car.
Yes.
So what I did was make wraps.
Oh.
So that they wouldn't the wraps don't get soggy because they don't have the bread.
Yeah.
So I could make them well ahead of time, put them in a cooler, and then bring with.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great
But
idea.
even if all you're bringing into the parks is snacks, again, especially if you've got kids, if you're buying snacks at the popcorn stands and stuff like that, every time your
$8
kids,
chicken nuggets,
or even every time you're hungry or you want to drink, you're spending money on that is going to add up so quickly.
Because it's so much more expensive at Disney World.
Yeah.
I mean, anywhere, but at Walt Disney World, it's so much worse because the prices are exorbitantly high.
Right. In my house, we drink a lot of Coke Zero, but one of my rules is we don't drink soda at Disney. We don't pay for soda at Disney because it is $5 a pop.
Yeah, a pop.
Literally. And it just adds up. It just adds up.
Something that you can do as far as the drink situation goes. I am someone who always wants a drink in my hand. I'm that type of person. So knowing that, there are some things you can do. There are Starbucks throughout Walt Disney World where the Starbucks rewards do apply. So if you're someone who has Starbucks rewards.
And you can pay with a gift card.
And you can pay with a gift card, Disney or Starbucks, right? Or
Yeah.
no. Yeah,
No, I do
Disney
think it's
or
both.
Starbucks, yeah. So that's cool. But also use your stars if you've accumulated free drinks. It might be cool to save them all for Disney. That would be fun. Also, another
That would be fun. That would be a fun
good way,
hack.
a good way to save some extra money that you would be spending on a drink there. Also, if you're in Epcot, go to Club Cool. It's literally a free
soda.
refreshing soda thing. Another
Not the soda you're used to, but some really good
not
options.
necessarily, yeah.
And some really bad.
Yes, but at the least you'll find one you like,
Uh-huh.
and it'll be a nice refreshing thing you can come back to.
Yeah. I forgot about that, but that is a great tip.
One last thing on the drinks is that you should be aware of any lounges that you might qualify for access for. Disney offers lounges for Disney Visa card holders. Disney offers lounges for, sometimes they offer lounges if you've got like certain health insurance. There was one that was like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like, yes, sorry.
Yeah, so you keep an eye out for
Medicaid or Medicare or something, right?
maybe keep your eye out for those type of things and see. Hey,
Florida Blue.
maybe that's what it was. Florida Blue.
But I think
Blue
it
Cross
is
and Blue Shield. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you do, if you've got access to one of those lounges, guess what? There's probably refreshments in there. So
Yeah,
maybe
I don't.
check it out.
I've been in that Visa one, and there was a photo op, but I don't remember there being drinks. But at that Florida Blue one, there for sure they have waters and like fans and like a cool down area.
That's nice.
Yeah,
The parks get
take
really
advantage
hot.
when you can.
Because the parks are so hot, I feel like drinks are a big thing.
Yeah, and we are constantly stopping for cups of water.
Yeah.
Free cups of water. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What do you? Oh, we were talking about breakfast. So you could go to the grocery store. You can actually have Amazon delivered to your hotel too, if you didn't know that.
Right.
And get granola bars and stuff like that to cut the cost entirely of breakfast.
Yeah.
There's some quick serve options that I don't know if you were going to talk about.
No, we can. Yeah.
But here's something I'd like to say, which if you are going to do a sit down restaurant, or like you're taking your kids and you just really want to do one character meal, like you want to splurge, but you really don't want to totally break the bank, breakfast is the time to do it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do one, you just want to do one, breakfast is considerably cheaper than than dinner or lunch, which is essentially dinner just earlier in the day.
I love breakfast.
I do too.
Breakfast is like, and the thing is, I'm not normally someone who eats breakfast. I'm
Right.
a run out the door kind of person.
Yeah.
It just is who I am. Don't come for me. But in terms of Disney,
Yeah.
sometimes some of my favorite Disney meals have been breakfast.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have just one sit down and you're gonna save some money, don't think that breakfast is a bad, option, because really it can be really special.
Yes, and the breakfast can be like half the cost of the dinner. So
Dude,
yeah, it's
some of
huge.
these menus, the difference between what you're paying for eggs and what you're paying for potatoes is massive. you
Right.
know?
Back when we were always on a budget, there were every once in a while we'd go to like somewhere like Kona Cafe, which is a
Yes.
sit down breakfast
In the Polynesian.
in the Polynesian, and order 2 entrees. It's split it between my family of 3, but one of those 3 is a child, which means we weren't leaving like totally stuffed, but we were satisfied and full and ate a really amazing breakfast. And I think that it wound up costing like $30
Yeah.
plus tip.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of in Disney terms, $30 for a
That's
meal.
normally less than what one person pays.
Right.
So you got to keep the context there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I would check out some breakfast menus to see if that might be your splurge. And you can get a breakfast, like sometimes Jake and I, who are not morning people, will get a breakfast reservation at like 10:45.
Yeah.
But that's really our lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically. And, some of those places where that's very possible for the sit downs, I would say the Grand Floridian Cafe offers a little bit of a less expensive, but still fairly quality breakfast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Kona Cafe is a
Kona
good one.
Cafe is definitely one because they've got like a signature breakfast dish, which is the Tonga toast, which is quite good.
Trattoria Al Forno is a good, can be a good bang for your buck.
Yeah, that's on the boardwalk. That's a pretty good option too. There's definitely places you can check out. And then breakfast is also a really good time for quick serves, depending on what park you're in. You can get some good quick serve breakfast as well. Some of the top ones off the top of my head, I hear the breakfast Ronto wrap is quite good. The tart is quite good at Woody's Lunchbox. That's a good walk around breakfast maybe.
The cinnamon roll at Gaston's is good, and I would consider it splittable.
Yes, the Nutella.
Especially if you're not a person that usually eats breakfast.
Yeah, like
half
breakfast.
of a giant cinnamon roll is like more than I even.
Right. Yeah, totally. And check out the quick serves at some of the resorts because sometimes they've got those this is kind of a hack. This might be good. For example, at the Polynesian, their quick serve has Tonga toast on it.
Yeah.
And you're not just saving by eating at a quick serve. You're also you don't have to pay gratuity. You're not maybe as tempted to buy a drink or something.
I also just think it's straight up less for the exact same thing.
So there you go.
I know that's
Check
the case in some of the, in there's a few places in Disney where you can get the exact same dish. I mean, I'm definitely looking at you, Raglan Road / Cooks of Dublin.
Right.
You can get the exact same dish at the quick serve next door as you could get at the sit down, and it's cheaper. Why?
Yeah.
It's almost, I don't know, it's almost wrong.
Something you should be paying attention to for sure.
Yeah.
I would say another thing that you can take advantage of is souvenirs. Souvenirs don't have to be something that you pay for, especially at Walt Disney World. Now, at Walt Disney World, they do kind of revolve things around the Magic Band. But let me tell you something. You don't have to buy a Magic Band.
No.
No matter what form of admission you buy for the park, annual pass, theme park ticket, you are given a plastic card that works for everything except for maybe a room key. You got to keep it with.
But your app does work.
Your phone works for everything, and they give you a piece of plastic that works for your
it does
theme
work
park
for your
admission.
Room key.
The card does as well.
Mm-hmm.
They give you a separate card anyway, for sure.
Okay.
So you never need if it's not hooked up to your annual pass or whatever. So the Magic Band is not something you have to buy.
I would straight
don't
up
give
say
it to you for free
shouldn't
anymore.
buy it if you're on a budget and if you're only coming once, you're only coming for this one trip or whatever.
I was gonna say I don't recommend it if not for this exact purpose. You can get them for cheaper if you're getting a resort.
Yeah.
So if you want one souvenir, picking out a cool Magic Band for a discount might be a good way
and
to
it's
do
a
it.
big discount. I think it's at least 25% as
Right.
long as you order it before you get there. And then you get it in the mail and it's exciting.
They send it to you ahead of time to get you pumped for
Yeah.
your trip and so that you have it to check in.
Right.
But yeah, a Magic Band at a discounted rate, if you're staying at a hotel room, might be a good souvenir. Apart from that, I don't know that it's worth the expenditure because it's just novelty. It doesn't, really do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to wear it when you're back at home? But if you come often, you can use it every time.
Right. That's important to say is that they are not disposable. They are for keeps.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, the Magic Bands might be a thing. And there's, as far as souvenirs go, I want to talk about buttons.
Yeah.
Because buttons are something that I collect from some of the more magical celebrations I've had at Walt Disney World. For those of you watching the visual version on of the podcast on YouTube, I've got a few of Morgan's buttons on display here. If you're not, then you, I guess, check it out on YouTube. It's at Neverland.
You can
Navigation
imagine.
Co.
Use your imagination.
Imagine buttons. They've got Disney characters and writing. You should get a button. They're a great way to commemorate your trip. And if you want a cheap pack, I believe it's $10 a piece. You can take them into the embroidery shop, and they will really fancily write on them in intricate designs for you with Sharpie.
For $10?
Yeah.
That seems like a lot.
Well, yeah, it is a little bit of a... But if that's the only souvenir you're
Sure.
getting, not that, you know...
And I
that's
do
about,
hold on to mine.
That's
I just,
about the cheapest
I
souvenir
didn't
you're
know
going to
this.
find in these
So this
Walt
is
Disney...
my... Yeah.
Yeah. That's about the cheapest souvenir you might find.
The cast member will write on it for free.
Of course, the cast...
But not fancy.
If you want to plus it up, you could do that. But yeah...
That's a good...
Whether that or not...
It's a good tip, because I had no idea they did that.
Oh, yeah. Fun. But that... the buttons being free is a great way to... And you just have to ask for it. That's all.
And so they've got ones for if it's your first trip, if it's your birthday, or ones that just say, I'm celebrating.
Or
and then,
marriage, happily ever after.
Yep, happily ever after. So that one also applies for anniversaries. But the I'm celebrating can be for anything.
Yes.
I saved enough to come to Walt Disney World.
Absolutely. Hey, that's worth celebrating.
I have something along these same lines I would like to throw in here.
Yes.
And this is something that I used to do back in the day. When my daughter was younger, we would go to the Dollar Tree or the Dollar whatever and buy some stuff before we would even go. So I would buy like a unicorn pop. Some light up thing, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Stuff like that if you bought it in the park is going to be insanely expensive. But if you buy it from Dollar Tree, just put it in your backpack and then give it to your child, you know.
They won't feel left out. They'll have the glowing thing.
Yeah, right. Or the giant lollipop. You can get a giant lollipop at Dollar Tree for now $1.25.
And Mickey ears and Minnie ears at Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Or Amazon.
Or Amazon. Like, those types of things are going to save you so much.
Right.
This is a great tip. Your kids, they're going to be
Buy
tempted.
your ponchos ahead of time.
Oh,
the ponchos
huge.
in Disney World are very expensive and such a silly thing. You're not going to use that again.
That's a situation where you're trapped. You know, Disney knows that you don't want to be wet, and they're going to take your
and probably I don't know because we don't do
too much. So be wise.
Walmart or a dollar place has those ponchos already in the bags. They're already small.
Yeah, you don't have to worry.
Yeah, but light up stuff, Mickey ears. I didn't know they sold them at Walmart.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a really easy way to save some quick cash.
Yeah, absolutely. Just think ahead of what you might want in them. But even for me, having a fun rainbow looking lollipop while I'm watching a parade or something is so fun. And if I've already got it in my bag and I paid $1.25 for it, even better.
Yeah.
Than spending $10.
Take an Instagram picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the ones at Disney, they print on the wrapper, it's got Mickey on it. But once you take the wrapper off, it's just a lollipop.
It's the same as everything else. All of their candy and stuff is like that.
Right.
So don't pay $20 for a wrapper.
Right.
Unless it's like M&M or something. Then you can, if you want to give them $20, I guess that's your business. I hope
M&M the wrapper, right? Not M&M the candy.
Well, just one M&M. If you could have just one M&M, what color would it be?
I'm just clarifying. Pink.
Oh, yeah. All right. I did say.
You did say.
But also...
And glittery.
Ooh, have they done that?
No.
They should do that. They should do that for Disney 100.
I want everything glittery.
They should have the silver glittery M&Ms. That'd be cool.
Wow.
They'd probably mix
Why
them
don't they
purple.
ask us?
They never do.
I don't know.
Do you guys know why? Don't comment. I don't want to read. Don't tell me why Disney's
not hiring us. Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Did I change my mind and take it back? I don't want to know.
Yeah, for real. Another thing you should take advantage of that's really cheap, no, that's free, is resorts. As long as you can park. So the situation...
What do you mean?
That's a great question. I don't mean staying at them. I mean resort hopping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Disney Springs.
Or Disney Springs.
Yeah.
Resort hopping and Disney Springs is free. If you even yeah, the tricky thing about the resorts is the parking situation. But if you go to one and you say, I'm just looking for hidden Mickeys, I'm just looking to explore the resort, a lot of times they'll let you in.
Especially if it's not one on the monorail or the Skyliner Loop.
Right, but you do have to know it's up to their discretion. They could choose to tell you to go away.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But like I've never we actually hidden Mickey hunt at resorts.
Yes.
And I in the ones like All Star and ones that aren't on a major transportation line where people might lie to get to park there for free and then have access to like the monorail or the Skyliner. I've never had them tell us no.
No, they don't care.
Yeah.
So exploring the resorts is cool. They've got a lot of cool details. Some of them have cool activities. But honestly, a major amenity of the resorts is that a lot of them have firework viewing.
Yeah.
So it can be, really cool to watch the fireworks for free.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I could spend a day in Animal Kingdom Lodge just walking around and looking at animals and sitting by the fire pit.
That's a free trip to the zoo,
Free.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I told my kids this is the zoo.
Yeah. That is a free trip to the zoo, and it's nicer.
Yeah, and it's really impressive over there. They even have like this path where you can walk kind of out into the savannah and kind of like look around you. That's pretty cool. For free?
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you can hidden Mickey hunt for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
scavenger hunts.
My favorite hidden Mickey that I've ever found is at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
It's great.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard to find.
The ones
I must have stood out there for an hour.
The one outside the doors of the savannah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. From the main. Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know, or you can look it up, I'm sure.
Did you say Disney Springs?
I did. I just threw it in there as like free.
What are you doing at Disney Springs for free?
Well, you can just walk around.
Yeah, baby. Walk around. There's a lot to see.
I almost never buy anything at Disney Springs.
No, especially as locals a lot of locals actually like to shop at Disney Springs when they need that one, one thing.
Disney Springs has a lot of really fun and awesome Disney stores that I love and would buy stuff from, like around Christmas.
Yes.
And then they've got a lot of high-end stores that are great, but I don't actually buy stuff from those stores.
No.
But it's really a beautiful place to walk around.
And what I was going to say, probably my favorite thing about Disney Springs is they have free live entertainment.
Uh-huh.
They have a covered stage on the water over there where they play shows. Sometimes it's jazz bands, sometimes it's rock bands, sometimes it's cover pop bands.
Yeah.
But it's always free and it's always entertaining. And they've got a scrolling piano, which is a piano on wheels
that's
that walks
crazy
around.
to me.
They've got somebody who sets up guitar and plays guitar over by the movie theater.
Yeah, all kinds of live performers.
And they always have a couple musicians just set around as if they're busking everywhere.
Right.
Just outside of World of Disney, they just pop up. And some at Christmas time, they have an a cappella group that travels around and sings. There's just so much live entertainment of a high quality for free.
Yes.
So don't miss out. At nighttime, you can really you can make an evening of taking advantage of the free stuff at Disney Springs.
Yeah, it's a great place to people watch. You could also get on a boat and go to Port Orleans and walk around there for an hour and then take the boat back.
Yeah, get your Starbucks with your points.
Yeah, I would also say that Disney Springs has more high quality quick serve options that might be bang for your buck. You know what I mean? I would say like
Chicken Guy
or Polite Pig. I know that Polite Pig can get expensive, but if you got I think the sandwich, when we got a sandwich there, it's a big sandwich, splittable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Totally.
And
your hands are going to be messy anyway.
Yeah.
It's barbecue.
Right.
Yeah.
Even Earl of Sandwich, my family loves Earl of Sandwich. And the prices there are very similar to a sub shop anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like $9 for a full sandwich. That's not
theme park price.
Right. And they offer a annual pass holder discount if that's something that you have.
Right.
And if not, they take Earl of Sandwich coupons if you find one.
Totally.
Yeah.
So you've got
that's a chain.
options.
So they do you sign up for their emails or something, you might wind up with a coupon.
Yeah, or a lot of these places now have rewards apps.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're on top of that, then you can gain some more money.
Yeah.
the more money, hey, take all your savings and buy lightning lanes or something, do something fun. Or just save money if you're trying to do it cheap. About Disney Genie Plus though. If you're doing Disney on a dime, you are not buying Disney Genie Plus, I'm assuming, for your entire party. So you've got to be a little bit more aware of the tips and tricks to getting on rides.
Yeah.
Getting on rides.
This is where rope dropping is important.
Yes. Getting on rides right now, Disney has formulated the process around wanting you to have Disney Genie Plus. So you've got to kind of work around. One way you can work around is by knowing what to rope drop. If you go back and listen to our ideal days at each of the theme parks, then inevitably, when it gets to rope drop, we talk about whether or not we're doing it, but we also talk about what we should rope drop.
Yeah.
You should know what to rope drop at each park, and you should know also that at some parks, around closing times, some rides get a little bit slower during fireworks.
Yes. I mean, without Genie Plus, if it's a busy day, you might not be able to go on everything. So prioritizing, I think, is also something that would be important.
Absolutely.
That being said, some of my favorite rides don't have the longest lines.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can do and have a great day without waiting in line for 2 hours a ride. Mm-hmm. What are some of your favorite quick get-ons?
Well,
that are normally quick.
Yeah.
During the super busy days, if it's the first week of summer vacation or whatever, and it's always super. That's not even one of them. If it's spring break and it's super busy in the parks, then you gotta kind of know that everything's gonna be a little bit longer. Yeah. But there are some that are always busy and some that are usually a little bit easier to walk on to.
Right. My favorite that usually has a low to no wait, now it's low, used to be no, is Wedway, which is also called the People Mover now.
The People Mover is like the ultimate short wait, high value ride experience for me.
Yeah. The only thing is I wish that the line was better because, like I said, like my whole life until recently, that was a walk-on ride.
Right. It does make it tough to wait out there in the heat.
The sun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but it's like my favorite ride. So,
yeah.
If I had to.
Yeah, totally.
In Magic Kingdom.
If you're someone who's into entertainment, the Carousel of Progress is a great walk-on.
That one, never has a line.
Nope. Also, Living with the Land over in Epcot, usually very low line. It's a little on the educational side, so if you've got kids who are easily bored, then it might be a little bored. But guess what? The ride is always short. Wait, 5 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Rarely gets higher than that.
Right. I would say the same thing almost exactly about Spaceship Earth.
Yes. Don't do Spaceship Earth first.
Nope.
Do it again at 3 in the afternoon or something and go walk onto it.
Just not first.
Yep.
Because everybody else is doing it because they just saw it. They saw it from the parking lot. So it's the first place they're going. But if you go in the afternoon, evening, you'll be good. Also
in Epcot, I think Epcot is kind of the king of these because they've also got Finding Nemo, which is always low in weight.
Yeah.
Almost always low in weight. And then they've also got Journey into Imagination with Figment, which a lot of people don't like, but is always low in weight.
It's true. Mission Space is also usually low in weight. A lot of people can't handle it.
Yep. The Grand Fiesta Tour, usually low in weight.
Yeah. You're right. Epcot's the king of these.
That's why a lot of locals love going to Epcot.
I could just sit on a bench somewhere and watch the Spaceship Earth with the lights at night.
Yeah.
For an hour. Honestly,
yeah. Most of the other parks, I'm usually just there to kind of take in the ambiance, maybe ride a couple things. But Epcot, I can do that, and I can walk onto some of these short wait rides.
I guess there's somewhere that I could do that for in all 4 parks.
Yeah, well,
and it's the obvious place in all of them except for Animal Kingdom.
Oh, what's Animal Kingdom?
Animal Kingdom, if I could just sit back there by Everest,
but
far enough away from Everest that those string lights are in front of me, I could picture it.
Yeah,
the string lights, Everest glowing in the background, the flags. I could just sit there. And just be in my happy place. But that's for me being spoiled as a local, and I can just waste my time.
You know what else is walk on? It's tough to be a bug.
Don't do that.
Terrible
tip.
What if I've got no money?
I don't care.
Oh.
You can do better.
What should I do instead?
At Animal Kingdom?
Yeah.
Okay, dinosaur is usually a pretty low weight.
Yeah, it can be pretty low.
Yeah, there's a bunch of shows there.
Yeah, honestly, the best thing to do for low weight in Animal Kingdom is just to do the shows because they're so good.
But you love dinosaur.
I know, I do love dinosaur. Sometimes dinosaur can be like 40 minutes though. It's not always
okay, but it's
low.
a good cue. If you listen to our cue one,
yeah,
it's a good cue.
It is a good cue. It's got a good pre-show.
Yeah, I would do dinosaur.
Yeah, dinosaur for sure. It's certainly not going to rack up Flight of Passage level.
Yes, at Animal Kingdom, I think you could do all the rides in one day without Genie Plus.
I agree.
You just need a rope drop Flight of Passage.
Yes, and probably do Navi River Journey toward the end of the day. That one gets pretty low at night. Yeah.
If you miss that one, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
I would be okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying if it's 2 hours and you miss it...
Don't have a heart attack.
It's not, like, the best thing there.
It'll be all right.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Oh, did we talk Hollywood Studios? I love Star Tours as a low wait time.
One of my favorite walk-ons.
Yeah.
Muppet Vision 3D.
Muppet Vision 3D.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible walk-on. Most of the time. You hardly ever...
Muppets? I haven't waited in Muppets...
In years. Same. Well, I was just saying...
I want to say
you just have to wait a second for the next show.
Yeah, but you're being entertained.
But there's a pre-show. Yeah. So you're fine.
Yeah. It's not like Country Bear where they will go a span with no show and no entertainment.
Right.
Right?
I would walk on... I do like to do Country Bear, though. That's cool.
I know you do.
If you know what time Country Bear is happening, go do Country Bear at Magic Kingdom.
Sure.
If not just for the history of it, kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of cool old animatronics in there.
Clicky.
It is kind of clicky. Not as clicky as Tiki Room, though. That's also usually pretty walk-on, but a lot of people can't handle the clicking.
Yeah. At Hollywood Studios, I think that the Millennium Falcon is usually pretty low for it.
Isn't that surprising?
It really is.
But Millennium Falcon and Star Tours are basically the same ride in a different...
No,
fonts.
I like Star Tours way more. Millennium Falcon is like a game.
Yeah, I do like Star Tours more as well. I was just talking to Tori about this, but it is wild that they have two simulator Star Wars flying rides in the same park. But yeah.
Yeah, but the plot is wildly different. And one of them is interactive. And the other's nostalgic. I think it makes sense because what else are you gonna do with a story about space?
Oh well, Rise of the Resistance got it all figured out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they have that too. God. Hollywood Studios would be the hardest to do without Genie Plus.
Yeah, I think that Hollywood Studios actually kind of has a lack in between rides, rides that don't amass a huge wait time.
Yeah.
The ones that amass a low wait time are Star Tours and Alien Swirling Saucers, and only one of those is even worth looking at.
Alien Swirling Saucers sometimes does have it usually does have like a 30-minute or more wait.
If you are waiting more than 10 minutes for that, you are doing it wrong.
I just don't think it's worth it. I like Teacups, which is essentially the same thing for a nostalgic purpose. Yeah. Alien Swirling Saucers, I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
And I love Toy Story, by the way. So it's not like I don't get it from that point of view. But anyway, yeah, I think that would be the hardest one by a long shot.
Right. Yeah.
It's really just Muppets and Star Tours.
Yeah. Oh, and Muppets is definitely worth doing.
Oh, but then there's the shows.
Yeah. You can, of course, do For the First Time in Forever.
Fantasmic.
Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, used to do Little Mermaid. Can't do that no more.
No.
She's gone. Have you seen the trailer for the new Little Mermaid film?
I saw, I think, what was called the teaser.
Oh, what did you think? Are you excited?
Sure.
I kind of am. I think that for some reason, The Little Mermaid stands out to me as this is a landmark one. This is going to be one of the big ones. You know what I mean? I feel like so far the big remakes have been like Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King.
Here's why I'm not excited in the way that you would think I would be as a huge Little Mermaid fan.
Uh-huh.
I have only liked one live action remake.
Aladdin, right?
Yeah.
You love that one.
I like it. Yeah.
Let's not get crazy.
Let's not get crazy. But like every other one I've gone to with some level of excitement and been disappointed.
Gotcha.
The Jungle Book, even Beauty and the Beast, which I know a lot of people like it. I didn't like it enough. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Right. Right.
Lion King.
Yeah.
I don't, maybe it's me, maybe it's the nostalgia I feel towards the originals, and then it's just not coming to, but Aladdin, I liked Aladdin.
Yeah. I did kind of like the showy style of Aladdin.
Yeah.
I think we might get
music.
that again from Hercules.
Maybe it was
I'm hoping that Hercules feels similarly to Aladdin.
Do you feel like Aladdin was more of a musical and the others weren't?
Well,
maybe that's it.
I really do think that they really figured out the musical element of Aladdin. I do think that had a lot to do with it. Because The Lion King, I think one of the major problems for me, because I didn't love it, I liked it, it was fine, it wasn't my favorite, was that I didn't like how the musical numbers felt the same as the dialogue scenes. There was no razzmatazz really going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
They made montages of all the musical numbers, and what they did to be prepared, that was garbage. They turned it into a monologue. He didn't even sing it.
It wasn't a song, right? Yeah.
Right. That to me is like, how did that make the final product?
It's kind of some of them have felt to me like almost insulting to the movie that I know and love.
I mean, in my brain, I am able to look at them as different things, but I also feel
that
like
might be my problem.
At a certain point, you want it to at least kind of be respectful of the original, or carry a certain level of quality that feels appropriate for tackling the subject matter that we're talking about, which is a classic animated movie. You know,
right?
I mean? They're only remaking the ones that are classics.
Right.
They're not touching Atlantis. They're not touching Treasure Planet, and I think that's a huge mistake, because I actually think that instead of what they're running into now, which is people like you who are watching them and not thinking they're living up to.
Yeah, I'm going in with
classics.
expectations because I've seen the original 5 million times.
When's the last time you've watched Atlantis?
Yeah, I don't know. I've only actually seen that movie once.
And considering the sci-fi implications, it could be this big budget, splashy, impressive thing that might make you think, gosh, Atlantis is so
I wouldn't
cool.
go into that knowing every line.
Yes.
That might be part of the problem. So I have low expectations for Little Mermaid because of all of this.
Yeah, I understand. How many
have they done? They've done a bunch, and I like
ton.
one.
Yeah.
One.
Fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's good.
I guess I could be forgetting one or two.
Did you see they're casting for live action Little Mermaids in the park? So you're going to be able to meet the Little Mermaid live action version, Ariel?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I wonder how many characters deep we'll get.
It's interesting that they're doing that with this one, but they haven't done that with any others, huh?
Yeah, that is a little interesting. I think it's kind of cool. Maybe it'll be like a limited time type of thing. I think with this one, maybe they're thinking the representation.
Where even are they going to do that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they're thinking the representation of this one is especially important for kids to get to meet this version of Ariel.
I would imagine that's exactly what they're thinking.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that decision making wise. All right, well, hey. We've talked about a lot. We definitely got off topic, but that's what we do.
We do that.
That's what we do on here. Hopefully you've picked up a little something about doing Disney on a dime. I feel like we're kind of experts. We could go to Disney World tomorrow for free.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, well, other than our annual pass.
Well, yeah, but...
we won't talk about that.
Right.
We don't talk about Bruno. All right, Morgan. If they like this episode, what should they do?
Please, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. And if you are listening to us on, like, a podcast platform, then... please leave us a review.
Yeah, that would be super awesome. If you like our content, you can find out where the rest of it is on our website, neverlandnavigation.co, where we've got a blog where we talk about the goings-on of the theme parks. We've got links to all of our social media channels, which are at Neverland
Navco.
Navco.
We were talking about the social media. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's Instagram and TikTok. We've got Disney history, Disney facts, tips and tricks, park videos, all the things on there. Lots of fun. You should explore it and also check out our
History
Etsy.
is my new favorite stuff we're doing.
Oh yeah, the history is really cool. There's a lot of interesting stories that don't get told a lot, so it's cool to kind of dig them up and hear what people have to say.
On Etsy, we're Neverland Navigation.
Yeah, you can get some park inspired t-shirts and stuff.
Or send a message saying what you want. We can do custom. If you've seen a poster or something you want put on a shirt or a dish towel, absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. And until next time, we'll see you on our next adventure. Goodbye.